Hey, y'all, listen. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, okay? Happy Wednesday. Glad to see y'all in the building hanging out with me today for trending topics. Listen, we got stuff to talk about. And this is probably bad decisions part 2, 3, or 4. I can't remember even what number we're on here, but this is bad decisions. Bad decisions. Billy Ray Cyrus. I talked about him a little bit the other day. He divorced his wife of decades, got with a PYT, a pretty young thing, got with her, wasn't even married, 7 months? Not even a whole year yet, not even 12 months yet. And already he wants the marriage annulled. Now there's an audio of the way he's talking to her. Now, he could call her and say whatever he wants about her, but the way he was talking to her was all the way left. Now, I can't say it was for sure, but allegedly he sounded drunk. He was talking to her slick and greasy. And I'm like, well, wait, where they do that at? Who talks to their spouse like that? When you have a mate, I don't care if y'all in the dating stages, I don't care if y'all are married, I don't care what the situation is. When you have a mate and y'all can't talk nice to each other, y'all don't need to be together. He was coming at her neck. Then he wanted to annul the marriage, saying she's fraudulent. She lied to him. She just wanted his last name. She's the reason why he's estranged from his daughter. No, sir. You didn't even get to know her long enough to know whether or not she was telling the truth from a lie. So don't be all mad at her. Be mad at yourself. And he wants to get the marriage annulled because he don't want to lose all of his money for some 7-month marriage. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Personally, I think this rules on when you marry somebody and they can just, at the end of the day, leave with all your money. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where they do? Who wrote that? Who put that in the law, in the rule book? It should be some perimeters around this thing. We marry under 5 years, you can't get a dime. 5 years and over, I may have to give you alimony for maybe 6 months or a year, depends. But me just paying you over and over and over again and paying your lawyer fee, paying my lawyer fee, no. Your come up shouldn't be because you married the right person. You married the right person and we get a divorce and you get a come up. But, it's the choices, bad decisions. He made that bad decision. He made that bad decision. He older. He thought this young buck really wanted him for who he was. So he got what he got. He got. And now he fiery mad. He claimed last year he lost $10 million in deals and concerts, whatever, messing with her. Well, you should have tried to work it out with your wife. That's why they said for better or worse, sickness through health, do death do us part. But you didn't let death do your part. You went down there, you got a divorce, and now you got Firerose, and she ain't been nothing but a match under your behind since the day you met her. But that's what you get. That's what you get. Bad decisions. That's what we're talking about tonight. Bad decisions. Billy Ray Cyrus, goes off on Firerose. Then we got Keefe D. Listen, sometimes age brings wisdom, and sometimes when people get older, they just the same fool that they was born. Foolish. Keefe D is 61. At 61, you should be chilling, having fun, enjoying life, doing whatever it is you want to do with your life. You want to go out and hang out with friends? At 60, you should have earned that. You worked all your life. You want to get on a plane, go somewhere, and hang out for 3 days? At 60, you should do that. You want to stay in your house, watch movies, whatever you want to do. If you made it to 60, you should be able to do that. But you know, they say you reap what you sow. You know, I had a friend who used to say this saying, you can't plant a lemon tree and expect apples. So the idea is what you put out in the world, it's a boomerang that comes back to you. They said when you point one finger at somebody else, they said, how many are pointing back at you? 4. So Keefe D, he wanted to be on YouTube talking about the unaliving of Tupac Shakur. Let's first of all, you have got to be gutter low. If someone has passed away, gone on, sleep in peace, rest in peace, going on to be with glory, and you talking about them. Who raised you? It should be all bets off. The person is no longer here. Let it go. But he thought it was a good idea to sit on YouTube. Somebody called him up for an interview. He said yes. And he thought it was funny and a joke to talk about Tupac's unaliving, knowing that Tupac had a mother, brother, sister, friends. And he thought it was funny to sit on the YouTube and talk about this man that is no longer here and know that he has some beloved fans that wanted his unaliving solved. So he thought it was a kiki and a ha-ha. And he wrote a book. Keefe D. He wrote a book saying, this is what happened, this is how it happened, so forth and so on. He thought it was all fun and games. Then they came and cleaned them up. The feds raided his home. They took the book he wrote. They took all the news clippings that he saved about the unaliving of Tupac. They took that all into evidence. They showed the grand jury. And you know, the sad part is when they got the grand jury to decide whether they was going to indict him or not, they had to show the grand jury the actual pictures of Tupac's body because there was, you know, people was believing that urban legend that Tupac was somewhere alive. And the prosecutors had to tell the people, stop. Unfortunately, no, this man did lose his life. Here are the pictures of his bullet-ridden body. He's gone. And that grand jury said, indict Keefe D. And they went to his house and they put the handcuffs on him and locked him up. He's been trying to get out of jail ever since. And every time he go for a bail hearing, the judge like, nope, stay in jail. Now his trial is in November. And, you know, we have debates here, and you got people say, well, so-and-so shouldn't go to jail because it's not a rehab. Listen, do you want them living next to you? Lock them up. If I'm in these streets obeying the laws, if I get in my car and the road says drive 35 miles per hour and I drive 35 and you want to do 60, lock them up. If the law says I can't go in the store and steal, if I go and steal, then I'm going to jail, lock them up. I don't care if you 5, you 10, you 15, you 60, you 90. If you break the law, lock them up. Get them off my street. Get them from around me. And you know, I thought more and more about that sad story yesterday with that 12-year-old unaliving her 8-year-old cousin. They can't say insanity because she cleaned up the scene. It was deliberate. That story is so sad and so disturbing at the same time. But back to Keefe D. You play stupid games, like they want to say, right? So you're going to win a stupid prize. At 61, when you turn 65, you're going to be sitting in the jail wishing that you never did what you did. Come on, Monica. It was premeditated what that girl did. So Keefe D also said that Puffy was the worst thing that ever happened in his life. He wished he never met him. You wish you never met Puffy? You can meet Puffy, you can meet a Jeffrey Epstein, you can meet a Bill Cosby, but if your intent that's within you does not want to do sinister things, then you won't do sinister things. You might have met Puffy, but you were the one that sat on those YouTube interviews talking about, I know what happened the night Tupac was unalive. Don't blame that on Puffy. Puffy could have came to you and said, because his claim is Puffy offered $1 million to unalive Tupac and Suge Knight. Somebody could come offer me $1 million right now. No, I'm good. Get out of here. Going to jail. I will work 7 jobs before I steal from somebody. I will work 7 jobs. Leave one job and go right to another. And sleep in between when I can. So Keefe D, yeah, Keefe D, he does. But you know what? He knew that when he was sitting around going on the YouTube channel talking about somebody's life. Oh, you said he isn't receiving treatment in prison, but he's claiming some other reason for getting out and lied about it. He has a TV show in the works. He has a TV. So what happened was in this, thank you, Monica. What happened was Keefe D lied about where the bail money came from. I don't know what was wrong with people and just telling the truth. The truth shall set you free. So Keefe D, and here's the thing, what boggles my mind is that people say when you're talking on the jail phone, whoever you are speaking to in your cell, you hear the recording that says this phone call is being recorded. I know a few people that went to the jail. It tells you. When they call you, it says it's being recorded. It's being recorded. Before, when somebody from jail calls you, it's not like they just call you and you be like, hello, and you like, hey. No, it's a message that comes on first to let you know this is such and such prison, jail, or whatever the case may be. This phone call is being recorded. So if you are in jail and you get on a recorded phone call and say stuff that incriminates yourself, you're a big dummy. You're a big dummy. Yeah, they needed to shut up on that phone, but they stupid. So they talked on the phone about this money is coming from, I don't work with a big production company. So Rack 100 was working with a production company and they wanted to do a whole reality show about this thing with Keefe D. And they said, if you get out now, we can shoot about 10 episodes before your trial comes up. He should have just told the judge where the money came from. But he lied. And so when he went to get out on bail, the prosecutors, and rightfully so, they said he's dangerous. He lied. Listen to this jail phone call. You dumb. And it looked like he gained about 30 extra pounds that short period of time that he's been in the jail cell. You reap what you sow. Now, the last person on the docket here is Chris Brown. People can pull my heartstring easy. My friends be all the time like, girl, wake up. Wake up. I be telling stories. They was like, they got you again. They was like, you got God. I said, girl, get out of here. Don't do that. They said, no, you got God, diva. They suckered you again. I'm like, y'all, don't do that to me. So Chris Brown, when I forgot how long ago it was, but he was supposed to do a tribute at one of the award shows with Sierra, a Michael Jackson tribute. He was already practicing, him and Sierra. He was going to do it because, listen, the boy got talent and the boy can dance. Yes, he can. So he was already practicing, and then out of nowhere, they was like, oh, because the people was fired up because, you know, there's rumors about Michael Jackson. So when you bring the name Michael Jackson up, depending upon what room you're in, who you're talking to, it's a sensitive subject. So the award show was like, you know, the powers that be got in their ear, and they was like, no, we're not doing no tribute to Michael Jackson. So they said, we're not going to have one predator do a tribute to another predator. We're not doing that. So they pulled the rug on it. Chris Brown was fired up. And I was one of those people that was like, oh, okay, hold on. Should we give him a break? Did he do some atonement? Rihanna forgave him, and now she got her 2 beautiful babies, and she living her best life. But as I started digging and looking, I said, okay, he getting sued left and right. It appears like Chris Brown got an anger problem, and it also appears like he don't know how to keep his hands off of people. Every lawsuit I look at that is Chris Brown, it's about him putting his hands on somebody. Can somebody send a memo out? Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. Yeah, every time it's a lawsuit and Chris Brown's name is in it, it's about him putting his hands on somebody. Is it anger management issues? Is it substance abuse issues? Is it a mixture of all of the above? He be putting his hands on the people allegedly. So listen, if you was accused of stealing cars, and everybody keep beating you down because they said you listen, you're a thief, you steal cars, and you want the people to forgive you, do you continue to go out there and steal cars? So everybody was pissed when he, you know, allegedly put his hands on Rihanna. They canceled him. And it seemed like he almost got canceled for life. But then every time you turn around, somebody else is saying he put his hands on them. Well, he got a $50 million lawsuit out. Now there's another one for $15 million. And none of these lawsuits would be happening if he could just possibly keep his hands to himself. I guess he don't know how to do that. So he getting sued. And we're going to see how this pans out, if he will get paid. Now, listen, guys. I thank y'all for being here. Y'all know what we need to do, right? Because I'm about to load the train up and bring the people on in the building. I need a what in the chat? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Wednesday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. It's called Bad Decisions. Billy Ray Cyrus in his grown age. Somebody look up for me and put in the chat, how old is Billy Ray Cyrus? How you cursing out your estranged wife that's the age, I believe, of one of his daughters, cursing her out, called her F and B. That's how you talk to your wife? Okay, we're going to talk about it. Bad decisions. Should have never married her. Keefe D in the court. He don't know the rules of the court. He telling the judge, "No, hold on, judge. I got something to say." She said, dude, you can't just talk. This ain't a YouTube channel. You got to speak. Your lawyer got to speak. You speak to your lawyer, and your lawyer speaks for you. Big dummy. Then got Chris Brown, got a $50 million lawsuit, a $15 million lawsuit, 2 separate lawsuits. And who knows how many other lawsuits he got, because he don't want to keep his hands to himself. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hold on 1 second. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva, hump day.
Hump day now. Come on now. Let's do this, okay? Hey, E. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Julius. Hey, Tay Tay. Listen, there's some seats on the
Hello,
platform.
everybody. Choo, choo, choo.
Choo, choo, choo. Listen, there's some seats on the platform. If y'all ever want to come up and
What
hang out
up,
with us,
y'all?
if y'all ever want to come out and hang out with us, now's the time. Okay, click on that link and come on in the building while we got some seats on the platform. All right. So we're gonna go ahead. Also, Billy Ray Cyrus is 62. He a hopeful. He a hopeful. Listen, I tell my friends all the time. Yeah, I said, if you see me, you catch me. I'm 54. You catch me acting a straight fool. Y'all better come get me. Y'all better reel me in. Y'all better gather me together. Y'all better have an intervention, a meeting, and get me
I'll
together.
bless you with some holy water to get you all the way together.
Come on now, get me together. So let's go right ahead into this Billy Ray Cyrus story. Let me see. Let me make sure I pull up the right one here. Let me make sure I pull up the right one, honey, because this video here is scathing. It is just, I'm just like, where they do this at, sir? Where they do this at? Okay, hold on one second, guys. Let me play this for you. So Billy Ray Cyrus calls Firerose a effing B. Heated confrontation with his ex. I mean, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on, let me just make that big there. Let this commercial go by. All right, there we go.
It's 9:15. It's 9:15, you idiot.
It's not 9:15.
I needed to leave 2 hours ago.
No, you didn't. You can still leave and get there in
Get the
time.
fuck out of here.
Please.
I'm not in no place to go do a show.
I wasn't.
I had to go when I was ready to go. If you would just shut the
Please
fuck
stop
up.
screaming at
If
me.
you would have just left it the fuck
I'm
alone.
sorry. I should.
If you would have left it alone when I told you it's done. Now I'm really fucking pissed. You once again showed me you will not listen. I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you will not fucking listen. And this ain't about your bracket. This ain't about your surgery. This ain't about nothing. This is about you being a fucking selfish bitch. I don't think you're real smart. I've changed my damn mind on that shit. What you are is a selfish fucking bitch.
No.
I'll tell you what, that's what you are. You're a selfish
I'm not
ass
that either.
fucking bitch. You
Okay.
cannot continue to walk all over me and think that I'm going to go out in public with your dumb ass and fucking have you do this shit anywhere you want in front of whoever.
Are you referring to you screaming at me right now?
This would not be happening if you would have just shut your fucking mouth. Look what a fucking mess you've made. What a dumbass fucking thing to do. Now that's dumbass, because you have to know I will not tolerate that shit. You just fucked up.
I thought you'd be happy.
No, fuck you. Fuck you. You know better than that. Fucking idiot.
Oof. Who talks to their wife like that? So a new audio recording of Billy Ray Cyrus is raising eyebrows as the country star hurls a slew of insults at his estranged wife, Firerose. In a recording obtained by TMZ, Miley Cyrus' dad lays into Firerose over making him late for an event, repeatedly calling her an idiot and a dumbass. The recording, which sources close to Billy Ray say is heavily edited and doesn't accurately depict the situation, features an argument between the now separated couple where BRC, Billy Ray Cyrus, belittles Firerose several times. Throughout the rant, Billy Ray accuses Firerose of not listening to him and walking all over him. He then goes on to rip into her for her health issues. Take a listen, and we listened already as he seems to call out Firerose. She has a gene mutation, I guess, for breast cancer, and decided, she's going to get a double mastectomy so that she won't have to, go through that. So he adds, I don't think you're real smart. I changed my damn mind on that, S. What you are is a selfish effing B. From the sounds of it, Firerose tries to get Billy Ray to calm down and calls him out for swearing at her. Billy Ray points the blame back at Firerose, however, saying the fight wouldn't be happening if she hadn't stirred the pot. It's unclear from the recording alone what they were fighting about, but sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ the spat escalated over an invitation for Billy Ray to perform with Nicki Minaj at her Tennessee tour stop. We're told both Billy Ray and Firerose thought it was all too last minute, with the Disney Channel star later turning the blame on his estranged wife. However, sources close to Billy tell TMZ Billy's frustration stemmed from Firerose preventing him from attending the show, with the Australian singer only suggesting they head to the concert after it was too late for Billy Ray Cyrus to hit the stage. Billy Ray Cyrus has since addressed the audio recording, defending his words as he was at its wit's end. He continued, as every day went by, I started realizing something was wrong, and that before I knew it, she was a fraud. So he's calling his wife a fraud. I just knew something wasn't right. That was before I knew she was David Hodges' ex-wife. That's before I knew her parents' last name. I had no idea she was arrested for felony residential burglary. I saw before my very own eyes everything I thought I knew about her was a lie. She was trying to take over my career, my life, and usurp the Cyrus name for her own gain. See you in court, he says. Remember, the pair have since split up as Billy Ray filed to annul their 7-month marriage back in May. Yikes. You never know somebody until you know. I thought he just seemed to me like he was just so easygoing, so soft-mannered. Leah, what are your thoughts?
Easygoing and soft-mannered. Okay, so recently, I watched Miley Cyrus on The Next Guest, David Letterman on Netflix, right? And so the way David Letterman was trying to ask her questions about her father and her mother. Her mother was there on set. She was doing a residency at the Chez Marmont in California. So anyway, the mother was right there present, and he asked her questions about her father, and she would not say anything disparaging against him. But what she would say, as he asked her questions, she never answered the questions about him. She would say, I got a lot of my musical influence from my father, but my mother is my hero. She talked about their separation. She said that it was a good thing that they separated, but she never actually spoke on what it was that made it a good thing for them to separate, right? She never talked about it. Okay. Then I listened to this, how he spoke to this woman. I ain't saying she ain't a crook. I ain't saying she ain't coming after his money. She probably was. But in all issues, as a 60-some-year-old adult, there's no validation to be able to have to communicate that way to your wife, right? Mm-hmm. So he was not. If you got an issue, whatever the issue was, the language that he used did not speak to that issue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It did not speak to that issue. He didn't say how she was lying. It didn't say how she was scheming. It didn't say how she was stealing money. It called her all kind of B's and stuff out her name. And it is traumatic because what I feel like is some love bombing went on. And then when he felt like he was no longer in control and wasn't controlling her anymore, then all of the ugly words came out his mouth. Ooh. And that's who he truly is. And I don't think this incident was the first time, but she was recently introduced to the real man that she married. I'm not saying that she wasn't scheming. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying she wasn't scheming. I don't know that part. She probably was, because that's how people are. But just this language is not a good look. And from the prior interview with Miley Cyrus, this is who this dude is. Now he can try to deflect and say she's scheming and she lying and she doing all these things, but you, sir, are a pig as well. You part of the 13.2
Oh
as
my.
well.
Mm,
As
mm.
well.
I
So
appreciate you.
I wish them the best. Thank you so much, Diva.
Thank you. Oh my God. Yeah, he fooled me. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So Billy Ray Cyrus has always been off the wreck. And
Oh,
part of it is because of his drinking problem. He's been
oh,
had a drinking problem for a long time, and Miley and her sister and her mom went through a lot of issues with him as opposed to the drinking problem. Um, I just feel like here's the thing, okay? We're gonna take all that out the equation. There's never a reason for a man to address a woman like this. But countless times we see it.
mm,
And it makes me feel like for you to record somebody without them knowing, you probably hit below the belt too.
mm.
And you on didn't hit below the belt on this one because you knew you was recording and then you was gonna put it out there. It's another one of those Jonathan Majors. I don't respect people that try to record their conversations and then gonna blast them because you weren't blasting them a while ago and this didn't start yesterday. So miss me with that.
Mm, mm. I appreciate you in my opinion. Thank you. Julius, you're up.
First and foremost, kudos to Tish Cyrus. She is rejuvenated with her new boo. I believe now her new hubby, who she appears to be very happy with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as this relationship goes, Billy Ray can miss me with his icky breaky, however the rhyme goes hard, because it was tumultuous from the get go. You disregarded your daughter's concerns about this young lady when you first got with this young lady. So, yeah, she's not going to disparage you in the public, but she's going to let it be known who was there for emotional, psychological, mental support. And that's her mother. So, you just not looking good anyway. And to the lady, you had an idea of who this man was, but you only went because we had zero idea of who you were, so you only went after him for one thing, which was his money. She shouldn't have been spoken to in that way. I agree, but she ain't innocent either.
Mm, mm. All right. Thank you, Julius. Katrina, you're up.
I have to say, I liked him in Hannah Montana. I used to love that show.
Me too.
Um, Billy Ray, he was mad because he couldn't get to the concert. Well, you should have just left her and went on by your business. If she couldn't get there on time, you could have just went. And first of all, you didn't do a background check on this woman before she got you got with her. Obviously not, because now you saying you didn't know all this stuff until you married her and all this and all that. It's too late now. You married her. You picked her. She picked him. And another thing, like in my opinion, said, yeah, she didn't say anything on there because she wasn't to embarrass herself. She wanted to embarrass him. And he sounded like he was drunk anyway. I mean, I don't know if he was, but he sounded that way.
It did.
And the thing of it is, like, that's why she recorded him because she knew he was off his game. And that's a sad thing to do. If you're gonna record a conversation and stuff like that, put both of y'all conversations in there. Don't just do it halfway and just make him look bad because you want to look good. That's not a good thing to do. And obviously she gonna know about that. And like Julie said, uh Their relationship already started off rocky, especially when Miley tried to tell him about her. He didn't listen. I guess he had said he got him a young thing and he's just gonna go for it. But a young thing can turn to your nightmare and you can turn to her nightmare. So both of y'all need to sleep in the bed together. That's all I got, Diva.
Ooh, they both. You right. Okay, E, you're up. Is E there? E might not be there. Okay, Tay, you're up.
And he sing that song, Achy Breaky Heart. Well, there he is right there for you. Achy Breaky Heart. Billy, he look a hot mess with that full hair, that beard. And you need to go rehab too. Because you have problem with that problem right there. And this child right here, girl, go sit down somewhere. Why you messing with a older man? You just want his name. You want his money. That's all you want from him. You don't care about him. You really don't. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Tay. I think I got everybody on this story. We're gonna go ahead and roll. You know what? Before I roll into the next story, Firerose, I wish her all the best because she is about to go through, or she might have went through already, a major change in her life by having a double mastectomy. So she's going through that, and now she's going through, like I said, probably a annulment. He may be granted it. I don't really know how those work, right? He may be granted it because of the simple fact that it hasn't even been a year yet. And he's trying to claim that she was a fraud when getting into a relationship with him. And maybe that's going to play a role in him being granted this annulment. So we'll stay connected to the story. Only time will tell. I'm going to roll right into the Keffe D story. And Keffe D, I just can't believe he's like, this man at 61 is really like this crazy. And then the other piece of it is he is dealing with health issues. But you know what? I'm not saying this right, but people on the outside sometimes have limited resources when it comes to their health. What did he think is going to happen in jail? So let me go ahead and share screen. Let's get into this Keefe D story. Let me just find out, where did I put it? Here it is, I think. So he won't back down. This is the moment Tupac Shakur murder suspect Keefe D erupts in a courtroom rant over confession evidence in a tense bail hearing. He's losing it really because he wants out of jail. And you figure November in terms of it, I don't know how often a court hearing will come up for them to hear about your bail, but I know after this one, the judge said she needed 2 to 3 days to decide. If he doesn't get out anytime soon, he can almost forget it because his trial starts in November. So let's go ahead and play this.
No more dragging yourself to that unfulfilling role, dreading the daily grind of mundane.
It'll be August 20th.
Yeah, address the court.
I think we're done.
I got something to say.
You want to say it to Mr. Arnold, and he can say if he represents you. So ultimately, if you represent yourself, you can talk at will. But
Mr. Greg Hayden had them pockets at his house for 15 years in his attic, doing all kind of TV interviews. That the boxes should not be allowed in the
he's just going to talk about it.
Yeah, the boxes should not be allowed. The tainted evidence, everything. The man, he broke a proffer agreement, and he broke the law, all kind of stuff. The boxes should not be allowed. He's been at his house for 15 years, and he's doing interviews, going in the boxes. Let me see here. Ooh, you can see it on any internet site that this man been going in the boxes for years, and he's a and a judge, federal judge in LA did a 142-page thing about him. Look it up on the internet.
So I think what the state said ultimately is that they don't think there's going to be anything in those boxes that they're going to use.
You just use something in them boxes. They just used something in them boxes from 1996. And they know what they did.
Yeah, no, certainly we are.
They're not only ugly on the outside, but they're ugly on the inside. They crashed my family in this. They did my daughter first. They did my son. Then they just did my wife the last year. What's the name told me about these? David Westbrook told me about these dudes. He said they're not only ugly on the outside, but they're ugly on the inside too. These two dudes right here.
All right. At this point, there's nothing before me to exclude any sort of evidence. There's been no motion filed about the proffer. I don't know if Mr. Arnold plans on challenging that or not. Ultimately, that decision is up to him. So we'll see you guys back on that 30-day date.
That was August 20th at 9 a.m.
Right. At that time, we need to know if we're going to go on the 3rd.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Yikes. He wants out, but you know what? You play games, and this is where you're at. So furious self-defense gangster Keefe D raged at prosecutors and a former Los Angeles detective during his intense bail bond hearing on Tuesday. Keefe D looked downcast as the judge, Carly, decided she would consider whether he could be freed after a 45-minute hearing in a courtroom in 12B at Las Vegas Judicial Court. Okay, that's his lawyer trying to calm him down. That's him, Keefe D, packing on the pounds. Maybe he must be eating good up in that jail because he's getting bigger. The one-time Compton crime boss, Keefe, had hoped to be released from jail to raise cash by filming a reality show and discuss potential movie projects. His lawyer, Carl Arnold, argued that Keefe was legally allowed to make money from his reputation, given he was not convicted for Pac's theft. However, prosecutors argued that Keefe's bail was supplied by a friend who had deceived the court, and freeing him would be dangerous to the community. Last month, one of the prosecutors expressed concern about Keefe, real name Dwayne Davis, earning money from the case and denied bail over uncertainty about the source of the bail bond supplied by rapper entertainer Cash Whack 100 Jones. Prosecutors called out Jones and Keefe in court, stating that the pair had misled the judge over Jones' motive for handing out a $112,500 bail bond. Keefe denied having struck any deal with Jones for TV projects in the hearing, with Jones insisting that it was not his business plan. But prosecutors referenced a recorded jail phone calls where Keefe, speaking to his wife Paula, discussed how Cash Jones had a Jewish partner from Paragon offering a TV deal. The state played Jones telling Keefe he's spoken to television bigwigs and that his priority is get at least 10 episodes done before the defendant's trial starts. Getting heated, Keefe 61 stared at prosecutors, declaring they are not only ugly on the outside, but they're ugly in the inside. Keefe launched his tirade against two dudes right here, referring to chief deputy district attorneys and prosecutors. The Tupac murder suspect also vented about evidence from his own confessions to police officers in Los Angeles being referenced in court papers over his trial. Keefe, who his lawyer described as the godfather of Compton during the hearing, fired off against retired LAPD task force officer Greg Kading. Kading was central to Keefe's tape confession of being responsible for Tupac's 1996 unaliving, which originally protected him from prosecution in a profit deal. I'm not going to read that middle there. The 2.5-hour tape, which the U.S. Sun has played several times, extracts from the last 6 months, has been submitted to evidence by the prosecutor in the case. At Tuesday's hearing, the Giacomo referenced a box with substantial evidence from the LAPD 2008 Biggie Small gang task probe being assessed for potential use as evidence in Keefe's prosecution. That revelation prompted Keefe to address the judge directly about his feelings on the case and Kaden, who has written a book and given interviews detailing how Keefe was the shot caller for the assassination. Keefe, ignoring the judge's request to address the court through his lawyer, Carl Arnold, said Greg Kaden had them boxes in his house for 15 years in his attic, doing all kind of TV interviews. Them boxes should not be allowed. It is tainted evidence. The man broke a proffer agreement. Standing Keefe did make allegations against Kaden, and he broke the law. All kinds of stuff. A federal judge in LA did 142-page thing about it. Look it up on the internet, he told the judge. The self-confessed drug dealer then acted out, Kaden picking out files from boxes and accusing him of passing details on any internet site. The judge calmly explained to Keefe that it was uncertain which aspects of Kaden evidence would be used by the state. The enraged suspect, dressed in blue CCDC overalls, who raised his voice, firing back, they're just using something in those boxes from the 1996. They know what they did. They crashed my family. They trashed my family in this, ran to Keefe. They did my daughter first, then my son, and then they did my wife in the last papers. These two dudes right here. The judge responded, all right. At this point, there's nothing before me to exclude any sort of evidence. There's been no motion filed about proffer. I don't know if Mr. Arnold plans on challenging that or not. Thank you, Judge, Keefe said before sitting down. The rant came at the end of the 45-minute court session where the judge failed to render a decision. The judge said there are a couple of things I need to look at. I will let you guys know in the next day or two. Keefe, who denies even doing anything, and I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I'll summarize the rest for you. Keefe, of course, denies unaliving Tupac. He says that Diddy is the one that offered $1 million to take out Tupac and Suge Knight. He said Diddy, after it was done, called him and said, was that us? Did we do that? He said he told Diddy yes. And he also says that he wished he never met Diddy, okay? Diddy is the downfall of his existence. Leo, what are your thoughts?
Eva, listen, this is such a big old funky, stinking, hot-blooded mess. Keefe D is one of the dumbest criminals I have ever seen in life.
Mm-hmm.
He spent all these years saying he was riding shotgun and handed the people to, he was riding. He had handed people to GUN. He did all of that. Then now he's talking about he had a proffer agreement. People need to look. Listen, if you have an attorney that you have this evidence to support your argument, then therefore all this time that he has been incarcerated, he should have been encouraging his defense to be able to pull up these things. I feel like dumb from the beginning, dumb to the end. You went on the internet and the TV shows and the internet shows and wrote a book. You did all these things. And I'm going to tell you deep down, really, I don't think Keefe D did any of these things. Deep down, really, I don't think he ever did. He was only after the check. I think that he had close proximity with those who did and who knew that may be no longer here. And he incorporated himself in these tales about what went on during the unaliving of Tupac. But he done put himself straight up in the square. He is in the box for the unaliving of Tupac by his own admission and his own words. I do not feel like this dumb criminal had anything to do with it. He throwing in Diddy, and Diddy ain't never called this fool. Diddy ain't never called this fool. Diddy ain't called this fool. He ain't had no reason to call this fool. Not this one. Now, there might have been some other fools he might have called, but not this fool. So it's too bad, too sad. You got yourself into this.
Yeah.
You ready to get out because you're not really about that life, especially at 60-some years old.
Mm-hmm.
And you should. It ain't nothing worse than a fool, but an old fool. And it's too bad. It's just too bad. I do not believe he had anything to do with it other than his mouth saying that he did. And these people are ready to prosecute him for the unaliving of Tupac, and he himself put himself in this.
Yeah, he did.
He's not about this life. He is not about staying in there. He is not, and he get ready to serve 20 years because he is going to get convicted because he gave the people all the evidence they need to convict him.
Yeah. Oh. This is sad. In my opinion, you're right.
When a big dummy think he's smarter than the system. This is what this is, a case of when a dummy think he's smarter. I don't know why these people listen to these people that already have been going down the same lane as them. Whack 100 is a whole fool. Okay, and everybody know he a whole fool. So you let him go pay for your bet? Man, y'all can't make this make sense, okay? This is a whole dumb.
I appreciate you. In my opinion, Tay, you're up.
Number one, I ain't going to jail for your criminal thing. Till you put a hitman on this person? No, thank you. I'll leave you right there in the jail by yourself. I know we friends, but I ain't going down for you. No, ma'am. No, sir. I'll be there like support. That's it. That's how I am right there. You can call me, but this fool right here, you big dummy. You really a big dummy. Hide the evidence. Code green. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you, Tay. Julius, you're up.
What is this dude trying to have a Diddy horror story or something? That's what it sounds like. I'm so over this clown. He need to go sit down. He need to go learn how to sew. He need to go play with his yarn. He need to go sit down somewhere and go count something and leave us the good people alone. We don't need this buffoonery. Goodbye.
Thank you, Julius. Katrina, you're up. Are you there, Katrina?
I'm here.
Okay.
Well, he wanted clout, so now he got it. He wanted to sell his books. He on Glad saying that with his shades on, saying, "Yeah, I did it, and I did all this and all that." Now you're in there crying like a baby. Well, look like you ate Tupac from what we see. But anyway, now you're in there crying like a baby, saying you didn't do it. And then why lie? Talk about how you got the money. All you had to do was say, "Well, Judge, I'm trying to get some money up so I can get a better lawyer or to take care of my family or to do what I got to do." All you had to do was say that. Why lie?
Yeah.
So you lying and saying that you didn't say this. So now you're saying that you didn't pow Tupac. Now you're saying that you did. You didn't. First you said you did. Now you're saying you didn't. You keep changing your lies. Can't nobody believe what you're saying. You wishy-washy. So that's another thing. You lied when the people ask you how you got the money. All you had to do was say, "I got this money to get me out on bail. I got to do this show to try to make some money for my lawyer or for my family or for, just to have necessities, what's up, because I'm locked up and I can't do nothing for my family." That's all you had to say, but you lied again. So you right where you need to be in your little blue jumpsuit and orange shoes. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you, Katrina. LaDom, you in the building. What are your thoughts? Can you hear us?
I'm sorry, my mic was muted. I didn't
Okay.
want to disturb anyone. Yes, I'm coming late. How y'all doing? And
Good.
like this Keefe D dude, man, he's incredible. I mean, like, he is special. I mean, like, there's statute of limitations on unaliving a person. Why did you think you can even trust this person to
Mm.
talk about it? I mean, it's just so silly. I mean, it's beyond silly, if you me. And like Katrina said, hey, you wanted to sell a book, you wanted your street cred, hey, now you got it. So enjoy it. That's all I got to say about this situation.
I appreciate you. Thank you. You right. Enjoy it. Now you got all your street cred behind bars, and you mad about what they said about you, but they free and you not. Just a big dummy.
Mm-hmm.
So he messed around and he
Yeah.
found out. And what he found out, he's not liking. Okay. So let's go ahead and roll into this last story. I was feeling bad for Chris Brown because I do feel like people deserve second chances. But how can you earn or get a second chance if you still in these streets doing the most? You still in these streets putting your hands on people. You cannot put your hands on people and then expect to be forgiven by the world. Listen, there's a $50 million lawsuit. I just saw that he was hit with the other day. Again, it was for him putting his hands on somebody. And now he's let me see. There's another one that just recently came out. It's for $15 million. So Chris Brown and Yellow Breezy, new $15 million lawsuit over Texas show. So a guard claims his neck was crushed in a backstage brawl. Okay. So Chris Brown and Yellow Breezy just got hit with another lawsuit, this time from a security guard who claims he was horribly injured while breaking up the brawl that led to the first suit. In the docs, filed on Wednesday and obtained by TMZ Hip Hop, Frederick R. Overpeck says he was working as security guard at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth on July 20th, and more specifically was instructed to work the backstage meet and greet where the alleged fight took place. We broke the story earlier this week. 4 guys who said they were invited to Chris' VIP experience after the show let out a calm things got violent when the singers can't recognize them as former ops. Overpeck's suit backs up those 4 plaintiffs' version of events, alleging Chris ordered his crew, including Dallas breed rap star Yellow Breezy, to F them up and go so far as to describe the scene as a prison yard beatdown. He claims he witnessed a 300-pound henchman squash one of the guys like a bug, and says when he tried to step in, he was met with punches and kicks from Team Breezy. Overpeck says he's a 58-year-old father with 2 jobs who didn't even know who Chris was, but claims the singer's goons left him with cracked vertebrae in his neck and severely injured hip. He's suing for no less than $15 million in damages. Oh, this man. You know, when celebrities want to, not a prison beatdown, number one, when celebrities want to, they got to work. Everybody works hard for their money, whether you're a celebrity or non-celebrity. But when you have to do all this work and then for you to get crazy and lose 10, 15, $50 million just like that, you have got to be so foolish. I feel like Chris Brown needs severe, intense therapy and help. Leo, what are your thoughts?
Wow, what are my thoughts? It was a lot. I don't know how old Chris Brown is. I think he's in his late 30s, perhaps. And dealing with this consistently since he was 19 years old, with the violence and the backlash and the violence again and the backlash. He is the new, you know how they used to call Bobby Brown the bad boy R&B. He is like the new bad boy R&B. and has been for years. He hasn't stopped because it's his bodyguards that have inflicted all this injury and damage to folks, but he hired them. And so he himself is just as responsible as these folks that have done this damage. And they actually court this type of violence.
Good God.
The people know 35. Okay, he's 35. Yep. Okay, mid-30s. Thank you so much. And so it's about time for him to change it up if he wants to sustain himself in this industry. Because I will be transparent and say I was looking forward to Chris Brown doing the hits of Michael Jackson. We cannot put famous people who have done great work in a morality box, because if we judge people on their morals constantly, there will be no icons or no famous people work in art and music and entertainment that you could ever respect, because every human being is flawed.
Right.
And a lot of times these people who we revere have done horrible things.
Ooh.
Horrible things. But listen, the people that you work for and did horrible things. When you go to the doctor's office, it's some people around there doing some horrible things. You can never know whether or not they pill poppers or whatever. It is human beings are flawed. And so to judge people morally and then also critique their art on their moral flaws or the human flaws, there will be nothing. So I can't just throw Chris Brown away, even though he is a part of the 13.2 million, but he still has contributed a lot to the music industry, and his talent is undeniable. So I mean, he gonna have to clean his act up, or he gonna definitely get canceled forever. He getting ready to ruin his own pockets because he's getting too old for this foolishness.
Yeah.
So he needs to get himself together. I don't know who his people is. I don't know who his mama is, but they need to gather him together and let him know that you're going to have to change your track and your path, because it's still a path for greater success for him if he get rid of these goons and stop trying to keep up with the ideology of you jump up to get beat down. You get ready to get too old for that. So you're gonna have to come up with something else.
He gonna have to. He's ruling his own career, his own image and invitation. I feel that way. Yeah. Ugh. Good gosh. Okay, everybody hit that like button. In my opinion, you're up.
Chris Brown ruined his own image. Okay, he was out here trying to be like he was the most hottest thing out here since collard greens. Okay, he wants to abuse the women. He wants to act a fool. You act a fool, you get effed up. Whatever. It is what it is. Hey. You reap what you sow. You can't put stuff out here in this world. You can't do people wrong and not expect it to come back at you. I feel like Chris Brown has never learned that enough is enough. Even to this day, he is a monster. And there are women background dancers, people in the club that he's put his hands on. Not just everybody always remember the Rihanna case, but there are so many other women that he's done wrong. And not to mention that he didn't want any dark-skinned girls in his space when he was at that club. So now you not only you're gonna be disrespectful to the women, but now you're gonna colorize us. This is the time that enough is enough. Okay, Chris Brown should have been gone. Okay, he should have been canceled, and they shouldn't let him back in.
Oh, well, we heard you. In my opinion, good gosh, Tay, you're up. Oh shoot.
Is this the end for the new edition? Is this the end of Chris Brown, his career? And he keep going like this again. It's like history repeat, history again. Do you already had enough what you did with Brianna, Chris? Like MIP said, enough is enough. And you can have your daughter looking up to you like you her superhero. And she gonna have this problem when she grow up. Have a man to put his hand on it. From your mistake. You need help, Chris. You need help. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you, and I believe he has 3 children. He has 3 kids. The father of 3, and this is what he in these streets doing.
That ain't can for him.
Oh my gosh. Julius, you're up.
50 million is a lot of dough. I don't know if I could compete with that. Chris, do better. Learn, get into therapy, something. Because one of the comments, he said he knocked his mama's windows out with a brick or something. That's what one of the comments in the chat said.
So I did see that.
I'm just like, boy, he like the saying go, you gonna mess around, you gonna provoke the wrong one. You gonna provoke the wrong one. Get into rehab and do therapy. That.
Thank you, Julius. Katrina, you're up.
Okay. I know we giving Chris a hard time, but what happened was, what I heard was the guys that he met backstage was beefing with him online. And when Chris came in the room, he was getting ready to shake his hand. And somebody in his group said, man, you don't remember these people right here was beefing with you. And when they said that, that's when he told his entourage to attack. I don't even think Chris even hit the people, but I think his entourage did. And the thing of it is, if you beefing with me, why are you backstage trying to shake my hand? Did you come back there for that problem? Because why are you back there? If we beefing online, why would I come to your concert? Why would I be backstage? That don't make no sense to me. And I'm not saying that he's not out here doing everything whatsoever, but I'm just saying, if I'm beefing with you, why am I backstage trying to meet you? And because they said he was getting ready to check the guy's hand, when he was doing that, somebody in his entourage said, man, this is the person that was online beefing with you, starting to mess with you. So I have to, like I said, I hate that happened to him, because he has been having a good concert review. He's been doing good on his concerts. He's been making a lot of money. He puts on a concert. He puts on a show. He really puts on a show like Michael Jackson used to do. I'm not going to lie. The boy got talent. He really puts on a show. But what I'm saying is, if I got a problem with you, I'm not going to shake your hand, or you beefing with me. Why are you backstage trying to meet me? It was something up with that. I'm not saying that everything that was done was correctly, and I'm not approving of no type of fights or anything like that. But sometimes people put themselves in that situation so they can be in a situation to try to sue you. And Chris just got to use his head more than allow that to happen, because people are coming after you. Folks trying to pull you back down. People trying to cancel you. You just got to be careful of who you bring around. Well, like I said, he didn't really recognize the person until the person told him. But because lately he has been doing good. And from what I see, every time I see him, he have his kids and he's doing for his children. I ain't never heard nobody say that he was denying his kids or anything like that. So I can't lie and say I have. So the thing of it is, I just hope he get himself straight, because he's too talented to let himself go down the drain. You got too much talent. And that's all I got, Diva.
Well, I appreciate you. Madame, you're up.
Okay, Katrina took the words right out of my mouth, because it seems like it's almost a setup. Why did this guy even go back there? Because to shake his hand, because chances are he was probably looking for a situation where he can probably make some money off it. And Leo said, "You're not going to put all of these entertainers and stuff like that in a box, okay? Because they are because you gotta wait until like all the evidence is out there, okay, before you can judge who was right and who was wrong, okay? And that's the way I feel about it. I don't have an opinion about it now.
Yeah, I appreciate you. All right, thank you so much. So Chris Brown, he's 35. He has 3 kids, but more importantly, what he has to understand is he's in the entertainment industry, right? Hold on one second, guys. Okay, I'm sorry about that. All right. So he has to understand he's 35 and he has got to do better because he's raising children. Like he has children that's looking up to him more importantly than anybody else. I'm gonna go ahead and roll right into our feel-good story. It's a good one. It's she's 64, still skateboarding. And I always encourage everybody, follow your dreams and always live your best life. Make sure everybody's muted. Hold on one second, guys.
For our series, Pushing the Limits, where we showcase everyday people accomplishing the incredible. Skateboarding has exploded in recent years with an estimated 85 million people worldwide grabbing boards. So it's no surprise that 75% are 18 and under. But in Santa Cruz, California, one veteran skater defies both gravity and expectations about age. Jamie Yukas shows us how this woman has been pushing the limits most of her life.
Helmet on, adrenaline pumping, Jody Oyama is in her element. The world champ weaves and whizzes her way through the cones too fast for you to notice at first what's really remarkable about her. Oyama is 64 years old and has been shredding the skate scene since she was 13.
What's it like to be 64 and skateboarding? I don't feel that old until I look in the mirror and I see the wrinkles, but I feel like I'm stronger than I've ever been.
In her 50-year professional career, she's traveled around the world competing. And so far this season, she's ranked second in the world in slalom, ahead of teenagers a quarter of her age.
When I go to the airport, like getting rides and I have skateboards, they go, "Oh, where's your grandkids or your kids?" And I'm like, "No, these are mine."
Oyama was a kid herself when her brother Carrie built her first skateboard.
This is your original board? Yeah, this is the
That your
brother made in shop class? Yep.
Wow.
So what year is this from? Probably, 73.
1973.
Yeah.
From there, it was her parents who encouraged her love of skateboarding at a time when so few girls were in the sport.
And even my mom, when I would tell her, "Mom, I'm going to go skateboarding," and she started laughing, like, "Well, be careful."
Oh, is that you?
Yeah.
But careful skateboarders don't always land on the walls of the NHS Skate Museum in
It is
Santa Cruz.
sometimes. And this is my board that I was riding then.
Back then, Oyama said, she struggled to be her own advocate for equal pay and opportunities in such a male-dominated sport.
When they first did some of the X Games events, they had the women's first prize was $2,500, but they were giving men $2,500 to show up and skate. They didn't even have to place.
Where do you see things headed for women?
I think it's headed in a really good space. I think that it'll just be natural and normal for a young girl to say, "I want to skateboard and I want to compete."
These days, Oyama is keen to encourage more women to pick up a board and teach amateurs, like me, how to skate.
Don't I look so cool?
Or should we say attempt?
That was terrifying. Woo! How's that feel? Good. And then I do this?
Yep. Okay. I wasn't ready for that.
Good job. Thank you.
Oyama isn't slowing down anytime soon. This fall, she's headed to the World Skate Games in Rome.
I think I take every day as a gift to skateboarding as some fun thing that not everyone gets to do. Like I got to go travel and skateboard, and I just feel like I wanted to get the most out of it, but I never thought I would still be getting the most out of it.
And you may continue to get the most out of it.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Jamie Yukas in Santa Cruz, California.
I don't know, Tony. I still got that Groupon I got us for you and I skateboarding lessons.
I've seen you ice skate. I can't imagine you
I literally got them in the wake of our ice skating excursion.
Oh, man.
Hey, what about me? I'm chopped liver over.
No, but it was like after we did a story on ice skating. You weren't in the piece.
But I'm here now.
You're here now? You want to go ice skating?
Let's go. Let's go. I'm worried about the falling.
She's definitely pushing the limits, though. I can't imagine. There's always like an ant holding a grain of sand that stops my skateboard, and I fall off.
Yeah.
You right?
Yeah, that's what my whole point.
Keep inspiring us, Judy.
Yes. Time.
I thought that was a great story. Just never give up. Have fun. Enjoy life. And whatever it is you dream about doing, you should just go for it and try it and do it, right? Have no regrets. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for spending Wednesday with me, Hump Day. Some really good stories to talk about. Praying for Chris Brown. He's 35. He should be on that spin of like coming around and really getting his life together and not wasting his talent. Billy Ray Cyrus, I do believe, you know, when people are sneaky and they're recording you in those moments and they're not really saying something, I don't believe that, you know, she didn't get down with the get down. I think you're right, in my opinion. She knew she was recording him, so she was chilling out and recording him in his worst moment. Now, either way, should he be running his mouth and talking to his wife or any female like that? Absolutely not. But do I think she set him up and recorded him in his worst moment? Absolutely, she did. And Keefe D, we're going to see how this trial turns out. It's going to be towards the end of the year because this doesn't happen until November. But I don't think it's looking good for him. I think they're going to throw him in jail, and it's a matter of how long will they throw him in jail for. It's a shame. But he set himself up, right? So at 60, you're going to get what? Even if he get a 10-year sentence or a 20-year sentence, what? It's just nastiness. What are you? 10-year sentence, he'll be 70-something. A 20-year sentence, he'll be 80-something. What a waste. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. If y'all didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit it on the way out. I appreciate y'all. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Do not cheat the thief or strike them. Choo choo, beep beep.